from the heart of the 713. It's fun, it's engaging, and it's uniquely Houston. H-Town's hottest new show, Chattin' with Chelsea. Here's your host, Chelsea Edwards.
Hey, besties! Thank you for joining me for another Chat with Chelsea. I'm your bestie, Chelsea Edwards. All right, today we've got a lot of help for you. We've got some folks who are going to teach us how to stop losing our friggin' minds as parents. So we've got a special needs mom and also a therapist who's also a mother of 4. They're both going to give us their tips and tricks for holding it together, and we could use all the help we can get in that area. You guys know I am a mother of a 3-year-old. I think I'm pretty calm and collected. I usually keep it together when he does things that I don't like. I remember he's only 3. He's learning, even if it's coloring on the walls or whatever. So the other day we were at the park. I just wanted us to have some, quality time before the work week. But he was not having a good day. He was not listening. He was doing all the things I told him not to do. So the consequence was we have to leave the park, which he did not like. He was crying his eyes out the whole 15-minute ride home. Even when I had to stop and drop some mail off at the post office, he's still in the back seat, and it's just driving me nuts. He could not be calm. So I do this thing that I do, which is a little bit of a growl. You know how your mom used to growl at you, like, cut it out? So I pull over the car, and I turn around, and I'm like, you've got to cut it out. And he looks at me, and he actually stops crying. But then he busts out laughing in my face. Like, I'm being so serious, and he laughs in my face. So then I have to turn around to keep from laughing, to keep the moment serious. But with the toddler, it is an emotional roller coaster. I mean, I think with all the kids from what other parents tell me. So we're just doing our best. Again, we have some help with that today to hold it together. All right. Another thing that'll drive you up a wall is unsolicited advice from people about your parenting. That straight from Keke Palmer.
Happy Saturday. It is hot outside. Thanks, Glorilla. Anyway, there's not much I don't love about being a mother, except for the unsolicited advice, especially in the social media comments. Because here's the thing. I've seen it in my page. I've seen it on other mothers' page. And it gets to the point where I don't even think people realize that there is privilege in what they're asking, right? Every mom can't breastfeed. Every mom doesn't want to breastfeed. Every mom can't afford formula. Everybody can't afford the car seat that said it was 555 2. Y'all got to stop with that. Statistics are defined by things that are repeated, okay? But miracles happen, sparingly, so they can't be accounted for. So the point I'm making is, if you want to help somebody, pray for them, wish them well, show them love. Don't go on their page using some privileged measure of how, what it takes to be a good mom. Because you know what it really takes to be a good mom is loving your child. Be more mindful.
Yes, be more mindful. I mean, I love Keke. We got to get her on the show because she's preaching right there. Amen to that. Mind your business sometimes, Okay, so it is already quite the challenge having a new baby. Keke has her own baby, so she knows this experience. We have a co-worker here at Fox 26, one of my besties, Javi, who has a brand new baby. Hey, Elijah. Oh, hi, Javi.
Hi, Chelsea. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm here with a crying 5-month-old who has a cold today, so it's been a long day.
Yes, been there.
I apologize for the sound.
Oh, you are all good. We're all used to it. We've been there, done that, sweetie. You are doing an amazing job. Just want to let you know. You're also back at work, so how are you handling that whole transition?
The mom guilt is real, I'll tell you that, because I feel really, really bad in the morning dropping him off at daycare. And I'm constantly checking the apps to see if they sent photos and see what he's up to. But at the same time, I love my job. Working is necessary. We got bills to pay. So it's a little tough right now, trying to feel good at work and getting stuff done and not worry about it so much.
Yeah, well, everybody says, yeah, everybody says that mental health is a priority for new mothers, but they don't always tell you how to go about it. Have you created any strategies for yourself, or have you found the things that help you in this stage?
Well, I have not found any strategies just yet. I haven't come up with them. I'm actually looking forward to your show today so I can see if I can learn a thing or two. Because right now I'm winging it. I'll be honest with you. We're doing it live. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and it's okay. It is okay. That's a strategy right there, to admit that you have no idea what you're doing because you're new at this. So we can't expect you to know everything. I don't know everything, but we do have some experts in who are going to help us. All right, and we'll get you going, girl. We got to get you another baby gift right here too. Okay, guys, we got again all the help for your mental health as a parent. You do not want to miss this show. We'll see you on the other side of this break. Busy moms juggle a lot, and let's be honest, often our mental health gets left behind, but it takes a very special mom to take care of a kid with special needs. So joining us, Cody Rowden, a special needs mom. You're also a mompreneur. You have your own boutique, Coco Cherie. Yes. So you've got a lot on your hands. You have 2 kids, actually.
Yes, absolutely. So I have my 7-year-old, and he's the one on who has autism, and then a 9-year-old son who is very witty and smart as a whip. So
what was your reaction when you found out your 7-year-old was diagnosed? Yeah,
so it actually happened during the pandemic when he was about 3 and a half, and instant reaction was tears.
Oh, wow.
Guilt. Like, what did I do? Or is it something I could have prevented? How is this going to change our life? Like, all of that, all of those uncertainties kind of creates that fear, and like, it makes you emotional, you know?
Did you have a lot of guidance to help you prepare or know what to do?
Not really, no. You know, with the initial diagnosis, they told us to put him in ABA training, which is applied behavioral analysis, and it'll kind of help with speech and development, you know, and they always say early intervention is best, but it took me a while to really realize that finding your community is what helps.
Oh, wow. So, okay, so that's really giving you some tricks and tips to kind of hold it together.
Absolutely.
Because I can't imagine, Cody. I mean, I have a 3.5-year-old, and I can barely hold it together sometimes, but you have even more on your hands. So what are some things that you've learned to help you kind of, I guess, try to keep things smooth?
I think it's extremely important to find other moms who have children on the spectrum. And then if you can even find moms who've been doing it, you know, a lot longer than you. Like, I really look up to Holly Robinson Peete, right? I love the fact that she uses her platform to educate mothers. And then I have a personal friend who, her son is probably like 2.5 years older than my son.
Okay.
So like, I could go to her for advice and what to do, and, you know, recommendations. So, and then a lot of my friends who are mothers of just typical beautiful children, you know, they give me a lot of advice as well, you know, and they give me that opportunity to kind of do my emotional dump.
Yeah, so sometimes I mean, you have the typical child behavior that you're working through, and then you have some things that might be, because he's on the spectrum. Have you determined, is there a way to determine?
That's a good question. That is such a good question, because I think early on, I used autism as a crutch for his behavior. Does that make sense? Like, oh, he's having a tantrum, it's because he has autism. No, it's because he's a 4-year-old boy, you know? So I have gotten better at determining what is, you know, the challenges around him being on the spectrum versus just typical behavior. I am no expert at it.
Was there a part of you that was saying, well, I already have a child, like I've already been through this, and not wanting to necessarily go through a class?
Even with my first child, I remember saying, who's supposed to take care of this baby? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we do have that natural motherly instinct that pops in, but I never felt like I was an expert. Like, so with the classes, it was just like, I got a lot of light bulb moments, like, oh, well, if he does this behavior, it's because this. So yeah, I didn't have any issues with that.
Okay, yeah, because was there anything in particularly dealing with tantrums that has helped you, that gave you that light bulb moment?
Yes, well, first, patience. And I know that sounds very vague, but you really do have to have a little level of patience. You can't rush it along. Okay. Because you have to kind of understand what triggered the tantrum, right?
And this applies to all of us.
Absolutely.
All the kids.
Yep. What triggers the tantrum, and then, like, you know, different things like making sure I get at eye level to make sure he sees my lips moving or can hear my tone, you know, and then just kind of giving that extra preparation. Like a lot of times the biggest challenges for children with autism is transitions, right?
Okay.
So it's like you have to give them a cue, 5 minutes.
Oh.
4 minutes, you know,
Okay.
whereas with my oldest child, it's like, look, we gotta
go right now.
Right.
Okay.
So it's little things like that, like slowing down, being patient, and assessing the situation, like why we're having the tantrum.
I like those because I definitely see those helping me.
Yes.
Okay. You also have a go bag, or what do you call this?
Okay, so I love this. This is my awesome mom, because as a mother with a child with autism, we call ourselves awesome moms. And we're cool, and like they not like us, like our friend Kendrick said. So one of my good friends, who she doesn't have any children on the spectrum, but she had to get me together one time. She said, when we're going out, you need to bring your tools. You need to come equipped. I said, you're exactly right.
Okay.
So I have certain things that I make sure I take with us.
I love
regardless.
how your friend got you right.
She got me together. So this is one of them. This is because he's 7, right? So I just tell him, like, you could put mommy on a leash, but it just keeps us together when we're like in the mall, or if I take him to like a really large children-friendly place or a trampoline park. Sometimes we'll have to do that. So his little teeny wrist goes here, and then that's mine.
Like, ooh, okay, got it.
And sometimes he's walking me, you know, but at least we're together, and I don't have to worry about him getting lost, right?
Yeah. And so what do you call this for people who are looking for it?
I call it a wrist harness. I don't really like to use the term leash.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But this keeps you together.
Yes.
It'll calm some of those nerves if he does pull away.
Yep. And then, of course, well, headphones. So we do a lot of movie dates, and they could be sensitive to sound, but he still wants to enjoy the presentation. But, you know, so early on I would notice he would, you know, cover his ears. So we do use the noise cancellation, or not complete noise cancellation, but it just takes off that intensity of the volume
That
for them.
sensitivity to, okay, all right. What else you have in there, ma'am?
Oh, yeah. Can't go wrong with the iPad or another activity that'll keep his brain working and functioning, especially if we're at a place where I may need him to sit down and be quiet for a little bit, you know, because sometimes life comes at you fast. You may not be in a place where you can drop them off to a family member to go and handle business or to go sit in the doctor's office. So you need them to kind of be on their best behavior. So, you know, that's why we bring these tools.
I love this. I mean, you were giving us all some tools to use. So does it bother you at all if people see him react in a certain way in public? Maybe you're getting looks, they don't understand the situation. Do you have to deal with that a lot?
You know, it used to, in the beginning, it used to bother me. And then a lot of times I would even say, oh, I'm sorry, like and a friend had to tell me, stop explaining to people, you know. People just, they're going to be people, and at that moment when he's having a tantrum, he's really my focus, right? Yes. So yeah, in the beginning I would be like a little embarrassed or, you know, looking around, but really it's about him, it's about our safety, you know, so I try not to allow that to bother me now.
You are doing awesome job, Mom.
Yes,
you did an awesome job.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing these tips. They're really going to help a lot of people out there. Okay, speaking of help, we've got a therapist and mom of 4 coming up. She's going to give us some more advice, help us hold it together. Okay, we'll be right back. We are all looking for ways to help hold it together, especially if we are busy moms. So we've got Tessa Stuckey, licensed therapist. You've been practicing more than 10 years. You see a lot of new moms in your practice as well.
I do.
So we had a question from a new mom, really just trying to manage mental health as well, because you're spending so much time and energy trying to keep a little one alive. How do you prioritize your mental health?
Right, and I think that might be the hardest part of being a mom, is expecting for the stress to not be there, or you hope that you won't get flustered, or you hope you won't get anxious.
Yeah.
And I think that parenting is hard. And so the first thing that I always tell my clients is to find some acceptance. Acceptance that there are going to be hard times. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. Every stage has really beautiful moments, but every stage has really hard moments too. And the quicker you find acceptance to that, the quicker you're able to say, okay, I'm no longer putting my energy into trying to find the easy. I'm accepting that it's hard and I can find the strength to get through it.
So you can have that acceptance without necessarily tarnishing those sweet baby moments.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Any other tips from there? We start with acceptance.
So acceptance is really the biggest one. I think that's the hardest one.
Yeah.
And then the next one I would say is to strive for balance. Really pick and choose what's the most important to you that you want to put energy into, whether that's your spouse, your kids, your family, your work. Maybe it's spending time in the gym. Maybe it's spending time remodeling your home. Where you feel most comfortable putting energy, keep it to a minimum so that you aren't overdoing it or trying to have it all.
How often might that priority change?
Really and truly with every different stage with the kids. It really, and that's the acceptance piece too, is accepting that you might be in a new phase and a new stage with your family and making that transition a little bit smoother by accepting it and then looking for a new balance, a new normal.
Do you see clients trying for that balance and having to prioritize their spouse one day, their work another, just keeping everything on a rotation?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people feel the pressure, and especially with social media and comparing ourselves to other people online, there's a lot of that internal pressure that builds up, and it's just not realistic or healthy to have it all. And so really and truly having it all is finding that perfect balance for whatever stage you're in.
I mean, that comparison almost feels dangerous for especially new moms really trying to rebuild themselves and maybe spending too much time scrolling.
So that actually brings me to my next one, which is establishing boundaries. So when I talk about boundaries, a lot of times people think I'm talking just about people in your life or leaving work at work and home at home. And that's all good, yes. But I really like to talk about your own self boundaries, your boundaries with your phone use, your boundaries with getting good sleep, so maybe you shouldn't binge watch something tonight. Your own boundaries with what's going to make you feel like the best version of yourself with that balance that you're trying to create.
Not all of us want to hear it,
I know.
but we need to, right? So how do you help, I guess, put those boundaries on yourself? Is it a matter of like setting that timer on Instagram so that you're aware? Because people often get lost, especially when it comes to binge watching and scrolling and all that.
I go back to the acceptance piece too, is that every stage that we're in is temporary. So you will get a chance to scroll social media. You will get a chance to binge watch something, but now is might not be the best time. So setting a boundary, and that starts with yourself and wanting to be healthier mentally and knowing, you know deep in your gut what's best for you. And it's 1 a.m., your baby's going to be up in 4 hours, you should be asleep, you know, and really prioritizing the healthy things, kind of getting back to basics too, eating healthy on a regular basis, making sure your personal hygiene is prioritized and your overall mental well-being.
Okay, you're doing a little preaching, Tessa. Okay, all right. So once we have those in order, is there more that we can be doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Of course there's more. Right?
So I really like to work with moms about finding your reminders. And your reminders can be a mantra that you say to yourself anytime you get flustered. It can be a prayer, a Bible verse, a song, lyrics from a poem. It can be anything, maybe a memory you have that feels good. Anything that kind of brings you back to the present moment and centers you and reminds you that this phase is temporary. You can get through these hard things because you are strong enough. If other people can do it, you can do it too. So finding that acceptance, having the balance and the boundaries, but then reminding yourself you've got this. And then take a big deep breath. You are full of relief now and you can power through.
I love that you said you got this, because that is often my mantra when things are getting heavy, when it's a lot going on, just needing to whew, okay, girl.
And I really do think life doesn't give us very many other options. You've got this and you have to do it. You're a mom. You have to get up and feed them and take care of them and get going. And there's really nothing we can do about the fact that you will be caught in traffic when you're dropping off your kid at elementary school. So you have to find acceptance, right? And talk to yourself in a way that is going to push you through that. And that's my last tip, is finding that support system. Your support with family, friends, but then what I call your self-support. The way you talk to yourself makes a really big difference.
Okay.
And setting those boundaries is supporting yourself. Finding that balance and acceptance is supporting yourself. And that positive self-talk is going to help you big time.
Okay, what's a one-liner that you can give us for positive self-talk?
Positive self-talk
Especially when we're busy, we're getting flustered.
Yep.
What do you say?
For me, because I have 4 boys.
4 boys.
I
Oof.
typically will say, I need patience, this is temporary, and I can do this. I've done it before, I can do it again.
Okay, I need patience, this is temporary. I've done this before, I can do it again.
Yep.
Woo, all right, y'all write that down, okay? We'll be back after this break with our final takeaways. Thank our guests Tessa Stuckey and Cody Rowden for joining us today and giving us all the help we need. Tessa, let's start with you. What's your #1 takeaway from today?
Find acceptance with wherever you're at so that you can get past that phase and move forward.
Yes, yes. Keep our busy moms mentally healthy. Yes. Thank you. Cody, what about you?
Finding your community, finding your people. For myself, I am a part of a committee for a nonprofit here in Houston that helps children with autism and parents. Yes. It's called The Perfect Connection.
Nice.
So finding your community and really, you know, using that outlet to educate yourself is definitely the best thing to do.
And where can people find out more about you and find your boutique?
Yes, shopcococherie.com or Shop Coco Cherie on Instagram, Facebook.
Okay, Tessa, I know we got some moms who want to book an appointment. Where can they find you?
You can go to tessastuckey.com, that's with an EY, or find me on Instagram, The Mom Therapist.
All right, and while you all are online, make sure you go to Chelsea Show Fox on our social media channels. Let us know how you're doing and how you are holding it together. Thank you so much for joining me for another Chat with Chelsea. We'll see you next time.